We're finished with the men. We're getting ready to do the 3 or 4 females. So
Okay, we ready?
Good morning, Magistrate.
Hi.
Yes, I'm ready. Is DDC on with us?
Oh, no, not yet. They just
Okay,
finished up
I'm-
the interview. They should be chiming in soon.
Did not the female too.
Are you guys?
Oh, we're
yeah,
doing 4 females right now.
Oh, that's why they haven't chimed in. Okay, then. Well, then, no, that's why they haven't chimed in, I guess.
Okay, I'm just gonna grab a drink of water. I'll be back.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right.
Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. All right, all right, can we have, referee didn't make it back yet. Okay. All right, then. We'll
Log
wait
in right
on
now.
that
He
one.
about to log in right now, Judge.
Okay, can we have, how you doing, Jerome?
Hey, now.
Okay, all right, so can we have, Mr. Houston, the Dwight? And this Dwight and Brandon?
Yes, ma'am. You want them both?
Yes, please, they're on the same, case.
Just one.
Okay.
Right here. And you want to put this order up here at the table. Just have a seat, okay?
There he is.
Robertson, Deshawn, Taylor, Joshua. If you guys can step on it, yeah, right.
Okay, right. Am I seeing doubles?
They're
All right,
twins.
then. Okay, good afternoon. State your names, please. State your names, please.
Dwight Houston.
All right, then. The court is calling case number 25058-14901. The people of the state of Michigan. Oh, wait, one moment. Okay, court is calling case number 25058-14901. The people of the state of Michigan versus Brandon Houston. Court is also calling case number 25058-14902. The people of the state of Michigan versus Dwight Houston. Appearances, counsel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. May it please the court, Daniel Reed, P number 30965, appearing on behalf of both defendants this time. We waive upon the reading and stand mute.
Okay, then the court will enter not guilty plea on behalf of Brandon Houston as well as Dwight Houston. Bond recommendation?
At this time, Your Honor, we're asking for a personal bond. I know these young men, I actually kind of raised them from my church, but they're very responsible. I was surprised to see the situation, but they're not a threat. They're going to do everything their parents tell them to do, and we're going to make sure that they make every appearance. So we'd ask for a personal bond for both of them. They have no prior criminal history.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so gentlemen, you know, twins, they like to dress alike and they like to do the same things, but picking up the case at the same time is just not, you know, a good look for twins. You understand? It's not a good look independently either, or jointly. But anyway, nevertheless, you retain good counsel and the court is going to set $5,000 personal bonds. So with that, you have 2 court dates that you need to make. You have a probable cause conference that's scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30. That'll be by Zoom before Judge Robbins. You also have the right to a preliminary examination. That's scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30. That will be before Judge Taylor in person. So while you're on bond, you're not to possess or purchase any firearms or other dangerous weapons. Do you understand your bond conditions and your next court date? All right, then that's. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Take care,
We
Reverend Reed.
appreciate your court. Young men, when you
Okay.
get out and get home, call me. It's going to be a while. It takes them a while to process you, but when you get out, call me. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Take you.
You guys.
Take care, Judge.
All right, then, good afternoon. All right, so we can run down the list.
Uh-oh, be careful now.
Okay, sir, your name, please.
Deshaun Robinson.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Robinson. The court is calling case number 25058-15001. the people of the state of Michigan versus Deshaun Malik Robinson. Can I have your appearances, please? Or at least one appearance.
Good morning, Magistrate, or good afternoon, Magistrate. Miguel Abrico on behalf of Mr. Robinson. My client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives of formal reading, stand mute, requesting not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
Okay, court will enter not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Robinson. As it relates to bond, Mr. Brico.
Judge, as it relates to bond, I'd be requesting a personal bond on the matter. I see the case that we're here for today. Judge, I'm sorry, I have two case numbers. Which case are we, can you read me the charge for this case? I want to be correct on my
The Robinsons, this is Deshaun Robinson. And so it is case number 25058150001.
what's the charge?
Oh, wait a minute. Carjacking and
Yeah, yep.
assault with intent to do great bodily harm. Wait a minute, look like, is this a different case number? Oh, wait a minute. Look, let's check this case number out for me. Same case number.
Is there something mismatching?
It's in there. So we have two Robinsons.
So, right, this is Deshaun, hold on, this is the right one. So this is Deshaun Robinson. This is the right one, it's two Robinsons, yeah.
I know,
We have another Robinson.
right? We have another Robinson, but I'm looking at the case numbers for the pretrial order, pretrial release order in the documents in the file. It's a Damon. It's a Damon Robinson and a
We have
Deshaun.
Malik Robinson,
Okay.
and then Deshaun. Let's see.
They match?
Yeah. the
Okay.
Addresses and everything matches up with this one.
All right, so that's
Okay? Yeah.
Deshaun. Okay. All right, so counsel,
Yes,
Mr.
Judge.
Rico, one is Deshaun and one is Damon.
Okay, so for, on behalf of Mr. Deshaun Robinson, on the case ending in 8150, where the charges were of the carjacking and assault and battery with intent. Judge, in relation to his personal bond matter, I would be requesting a personal bond. We did have Mr. Robinson here, not too long ago. He was allowed a personal bond on that matter. I do want to point out on the allegations made in this report itself, my client himself was stabbed. He was stabbed twice on the right and left arm. And my discussions with my client, not to touch on any litigation facts of this matter, it appears that there's a good possibility that he was being attacked on this matter, and not the attacker. Judge, I would ask that he be allowed to leave on a personal bond today. I understand the severity of the allegations. I understand this court's obligation in protecting the public's safety, as well as ensuring the defendant's appearance to court. I can say in terms of the public safety that the specific complainants could be protected through a no contact order. I've already discussed with my client to not go back to where this occurred, and to not have contact with those individuals. I would be requesting a personal bond on the matter.
Okay, all right, the court did have an opportunity to review the investigative report, Robinson, and it is concerning in terms of the allegations that there was an altercation. You are charged with carjacking as well as assault with intent to do great bodily harm. Understand that during this incident, you were injured as well. But from what I'm reviewing, it appears that the aggression might have been on your part. At least that's what's alleged. Nevertheless, the court has to protect the community, ensure that you appear back in court. He has no prior record, Rico.
Judge, I
You
believe.
mentioned another offense. I don't know if it's pending or.
Yes, I believe there was a capious arraignment for Mr. Robinson back on the 12th of this month, so a few days ago, in which he was given a $1,000 personal bond. and a new court date with Judge Bryant.
What was the charge on that one?
It was an assault and battery.
Oh, okay, well, that was a misdemeanor. This is a life offense. It is carjacking, but the court will set a cash surety bond. Any amount of 50,000. Because the court does, by virtue of these allegations, find that you pose a clear and present danger to the complaining witness, who is Mr. Al-Masmari, and you're not to have any contact with Mr. Al-Masmari during the pendency of this case. You are also not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You understand that, Mr. Robinson? Okay. All right. He has probable cause conference that's scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30. That'll be by Zoom. He also has the right to a preliminary examination. That's scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30. That one will be in person before Judge Giles. All right, that concludes this matter.
Judge, this is an unaffordable bond. May we have the redetermination date?
Determination hearing will be, is Monday our date?
That's the date you gave me.
6/17, 6/16, 6/16
Yeah,
on Monday,
yeah.
the 16th. And that'll be at 9 o'clock. Before
Thank you,
Judge
Judge.
McConicle or Judge Williams. Okay, all right.
That date,
That's
that
it,
last
Mr.
date,
Last date, the preliminary exam is June the 30th.
yes, ma'am.
PCC 6/23. Okay, thank you.
Or in back in the wall, okay? All right. Next person, please.
Okay. Oh, bond determination.
Damon Robinson. Now, y'all don't mind, huh? Okay, no. After that, what do you want? Independent instructor, not. So you got-
Okay, so your name, please.
Damon Ellis Robinson.
Okay, Damon. All right, good afternoon. The court is calling case number 2505814-801. The people of the state of Michigan versus Damon Ellis Robinson. Your parents' counsel.
Judge Miguel Brico, on behalf of Mr. Robinson, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives the formal reading of the complaint, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
Okay, then the court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of you, Mr. Robinson. Court is considering a personal bond in this matter.
Yes,
Kind of
Judge,
just
I would move for personal bond. I believe that the facts necessitate a personal bond on this matter. It's a controlled substance charge, not assaultive, has no assaultive history, has full custody, takes care of his daughter. I believe personal bond would suffice. He knows to show up to his next court date, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Robinson, the court is gonna set a $5,000 personal bond, sir. While you're on bond, you are not to use any illegal controlled substances. Is that okay? I mean, is that clear?
That's clear. That's clear.
All right, then you have a probable cause conference that's scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30. That'll be by Zoom before Judge Jefferson. Then you have the right to a preliminary examination. That's scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30. That'll be in person before Judge Jefferson, right here in the 36th District Court. Okay?
Okay,
Good afternoon.
All right, that concludes this matter.
thank you, Judge.
Sit back.
Next one.
The next one.
These are bonds that remain the same.
KPG.
Joshua.
Okay, sir, your name, please?
Joshua Taylor.
Okay, good afternoon. Oh, he said Joshua Taylor, okay. All right, the court is calling case number 2305690501. The people of the state of Michigan versus Joshua Taylor. Your appearance,
Judge Miguel Brico, on behalf of Mr. Taylor, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives the formal reading of the complaint, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
okay? All right, Mr. Brico, as it relates, so I'll enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Taylor, but as it relates to bond, it appears that he failed to appear for a review on 110-25, and Judge Robbins set bond at $1,092. So that bond will be continued. Court has no authority to change that bond, but he will have a bond redetermination hearing on Monday, June 16th.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, wait a minute. While you're on bond, you are not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. And you also have a court date on June 23rd at 8:30. That'll be before Judge Robbins. That's a probable cause conference. Oh, no, they just had, I'm sorry, that's a review only. Okay. All right. So it sounds like there might be some funds that are owed, and you can discuss that on that date with Judge Robbins. All right, that concludes this matter.
That was 1920.
$1,092. That's the bond.
Thank you.
And the review date is June 23rd. Okay. I'll read termination hearing. Okay. All right, sir, your name, please? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Finish the last name, Mars the first
Mixon?
Can you hear me?
Lamar Mixon, okay. I can now, thank you. All right, good afternoon. The court is calling case number 24056-57801. The people of the state of Michigan versus Lamar Daniel Mixon. Can I have your appearance?
Miguel Brico, on behalf of Mr. Mixon, Judge, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives the formal reading of the complaint, stands mute, requesting not guilty plea be entered on his behalf as to all matters.
Okay, the court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Mixon. Bond recommendation.
Judge,
Wait a minute,
my
does he have two cases? Hold on.
Yeah, it's my understanding there are two cases.
Okay, so one I see is habeas. Hold on a minute. All right. Let me call the other case. Court is calling case number 2305994-101. The people of the state of Michigan versus Lamar Daniel Mixon. Mr. Brico, you also appearing on that one?
Yes, Judge, I'll also be appearing on that one. My client's also been advised of his rights, waives the formal reading of that complaint, will stand mute, requesting not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
The court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Mixon on that file. If you want to address bond on both, at the same time you can.
Yes, Judge, I'll address bond on both, and I know that this court at this moment cannot remove any capias that is set for
That's
for the felony charges. I've explained to my client that he'll receive a new hearing date on the 16th in which another judge may review this and perhaps convert it to a personal bond.
Oh, that's correct, Mr. Mixon. So unfortunately, there were capias bonds set because you failed to appear before Judge Taylor for a preliminary examination that was set on May the 30th. So that just took place last month. And when you didn't show up, then there was a bond that was set on the other file. That one looks like you failed to appear. Same date. Let's see, no, this one says 5/28. And that bond was set at 5,000, 10%. So this one is 5,000 cash. And you will have a right to a bond redetermination hearing on Monday, the 16th, before Judge McConicle or Judge Williams. Okay, one moment. While you're on bond on this file, sir, at the postal bond, let's see, they have no special conditions on this file. Oh, okay. You're not to have any contact with, looks like a Desiree Griffin. Is that understood?
Yes, I don't have any contact with this person. I don't know.
Okay. All right, this is the person, the larceny by conversion case.
I think that started out as a civil suit, Your Honor. I'm a business owner. That was a business deal. I'm not. I don't.
That's
I'm
fine,
not-
Okay,
Mr.
well,
Mixon. She's just giving you the bond conditions. You can discuss that with the attorney at the felony hearing date, like I told you. We don't want to talk about the case here on live Zoom.
Okay, so on that file, sir, you have a probable cause. I'm gonna give you both of them. It's the same date, so I'll wait. All right, on the other file, Mr. Brico, that's carrying concealed weapon, and that bond will also be continued. That is 1,000, 10%.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mixon, on that file, sir, your bond condition, you're not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then wait, hold on a minute. I'll give you a court date on both files. Okay. All right, sir. So both of the cases, you have probable cause conferences scheduled for June 23rd at 8:30 by Zoom. It'll be before Judge Taylor. Then you have the right to a preliminary examination. Both of those are scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30 in person before Judge Taylor in the 36th District Court. All right, that concludes this matter.
What you going to the county? You want to come for that. One, no. It's not those. One is 10%.
Yes, hello, sir. Your name, please? I'm sorry, you have to repeat it. So I can't hear you. Speak up a little bit.
Brandon McFarland. I mean, it's another one from my business.
Say Brandon McFarland. Okay. All right, good afternoon, sir. Court is calling case number 21-05916-6601. The people of the state of Michigan versus James Brandon McFarland. Your appearance, please.
Good. Miguel Brico, on behalf of Mr. McFarlane, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives the full reading of the complaint, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
Okay, court will enter not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. McFarland. This is like a child support matter, and I'm trying to get the bond amount. So the outstanding amount, you have the, okay, it's $16,049. Okay. Is there good cause for setting a personal bond in this matter, Mr. Rico?
Yes, Judge, there is good cause, non-assaultive, no failures to appear, no criminal history. Is a semi-truck driver, was arrested while at work. He's really worried about losing his job. It seems like there's some stuff they need to hash out at family court. He does support the child significantly. It just seems like whether that support is being shown through the court or not. So I would request a personal bond in this matter, allow Mr. McFarland to spend Father's Day with his daughter.
Okay, the court will set a $5,000 personal. Court will set a $5,000 personal bond. Mr. McFarland, you have in-person hearing, probable cause on July the 2nd. That'll be at 9:00 a.m. before Judge Prentice Edwards, in person, okay? And that will be in the Criminal Justice Center. You understand, sir? Okay, all right, then that concludes this matter. Thank you.
Judge, is that because it's a,
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Brico, what was your question?
is that because it's a child support case? They go to the Criminal Justice Center?
They all go to Judge Edwards, yes.
Okay, but all our other probable cause conferences happen at 36, right?
Right, all the others, but the child support
Okay.
matters are before Judge, that's his docket, the child support docket.
Okay, thank you.
If the KP is filed, it's 5,000, 10%. Should that be 5,000?
Oh, did I, was I looking at a different file?
Just to, yeah. This one.
Did I have the right one?
This one, this is for mixing. It's,
He got two of them.
yeah, his case ended in 578, the KP is filed.
Oh.
Yeah,
The other one was,
yeah.
okay, all right, thank you, keep me straight.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, sir, your name, please? That's the McFarland's file right there. Your name, sir?
Rodney Hall.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Hall. Did I give it to you already, McFarland? Okay. All right, court is calling case number 250-581-5501. The people of the state of Michigan versus Rodney Wayne Hall. Your appearance, please.
Judge Miguel Brico, on behalf of Mr. Hall, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives the form reading the complaint, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf as to all counts.
All right, then the court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Hall. Fine recommendation.
Judge, I know that this court starts off from a personal bond basis and will go up from there based on the information, based on the danger of the public, and based on failure to appear risk. Judge, on this case, I know we're looking at the same report. You see these charges. We have quite a few charges, two of which being just weapons, felony, firearm, just that itself is non-assaultive. We have the carrying without lawful intent, non-assaultive in itself. And then we do have that one count that is an assaultive count that I sure brings this court a little bit of trepidation in granting a personal bond. To ameliorate those concerns, Judge, just want to state that Mr. Hall has indicated to me that the complaining witness on this matter is a complete stranger. There's no indication to me that there would be an issue with no contact on this matter. In addition to this, Judge, he does not have any prior criminal history. He's told me on cases that he has had in the past that were all dismissed or didn't go through. He's always showed up to court. He wants to go to court. He's not the type to not show up to court. He does work at FedEx. He's worried about losing his job at this current moment because he hasn't been able to call about the job and let him know what's going on. In addition to that, Judge, not to touch on specific facts of the case, but there are some allegations that the complaining witness himself may have had a gun or may have pointed a gun at my client. And so there is some stuff to be litigated at a further time. I believe a personal bond will suffice, a no contact order. I discussed with my client not to have any contact with any individuals related to this incident, even though he does not know them. I would be requesting a personal bond on the matter.
Thank you. Mr. Hall, the court is going to set a $20,000 personal bond. But sir, while you're on bond, you are not to have any contact with Javon Russell, and you're not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You have a probable cause conference scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30. That'll be before Judge Taylor by Zoom. And you also have the right to a preliminary examination. That's scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30. That one will be in person at 8:30. Okay, that concludes this matter.
Excuse me, Your Honor, how much is my personal bond?
It is $10,000, but you do not need to come up with that money. But that means if you do not show up
It
to
was
court, you
20.
may owe.
It was 20.
Oh, it's 20? Oh, I'm sorry, Judge. I'm
Yes.
trying to save some money out here. 20,000 personal bond.
So you don't have to post any money, sir, but just make sure you follow your bond conditions.
Okay, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. You're welcome.
Sorry about that, Judge.
That's okay.
You can stand right here.
Okay, sir, your name, please. Canto, good afternoon. All right, the court is calling case number 250581540. The people of the state of Michigan versus Ernesto Cantu. Your appearance, please.
Miguel Brico on behalf of Mr. Canto. Judge, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives the formal reading of the complaint, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
All right, thank you. I have Cantu as the spelling here. So the court's going to enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Cantu. And the court is considering a personal bond in this matter.
Yes,
Your
Judge,
position.
I would recommend the same, Judge. Personal bond, a non-assaultive crime, no prior criminal history, 18 years old, lifelong resident of the state of Michigan, lives with his family.
All right, the court will set a $5,000 personal bond, sir. While you're on bond, you're not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You understand that? I couldn't hear you. Yes, all right. Okay, then you have 2 court dates. You have a probable cause conference that's scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30. That'll be before Judge Robbins by Zoom. You also have the right to a preliminary examination. That's scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30. However, that will be in person before Judge Jefferson, 8:30. Okay, all right, that concludes this matter.
You can go sit in that room. Then you're gonna stand right here. Okay? You're gonna state your name loud.
Sir, your name, please?
E.B. Simmons.
Mr. Simmons, good afternoon, sir. Hold on. Okay, the court is calling case number 25058155601. The people of the state of Michigan versus Stevie Simmons.
Judge
Yes.
Miguel Brico on behalf of Mr. Simmons, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives the formal reading of the complaint, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf as to all counts.
All right, court will enter not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Simmons. Bond recommendation.
Judge, I would be recommending a personal bond with any monetization requirements that this court may deem fit. Judge, I know that the allegations and the charges themselves give some cause of concern for this court to consider in regards to safety to the public. To just address the flight risk aspect of the consideration that we need to make today, it is my understanding that Mr. Simmons has a history with the criminal justice system and has been able to complete things successfully, show up to his court dates, complete parole successfully, do all the things that are required of him on prior cases. Now we touch on the fact of danger to the public. And Judge, I know it gives you a little bit of concern on these counts, not to litigate the actual facts of the case, but there are some mitigating factors in favor of Mr. Simmons. Mr. Simmons allegedly was pulled over driving a gunshot wound victim to the hospital. He was en route to a hospital to get that person help when he was pulled over and arrested for this and charged with all these. My client has made some claims that there was an argument in which he was not the individual that was the reason why this person has sustained those wounds. But I won't touch on that further. I feel like that's a matter to be taken up at a later date. I just want to give a little bit of credence afforded to the fact that Mr. Simmons could be in a wrong place, wrong time type situation. I know this court still looks at all these charges and wonders, how could we give him a personal bond on the matter while ensuring our obligations are fulfilled? I think by allowing him a personal bond because he can't afford any amount of bond and putting him on some type of monetization requirement during the pendency of this case would suffice to meet those goals. I would ask for that. He has had no negative legal contact for quite some time, at least assaultive. I marked his last assaultive happening around 1989. So a significant portion of time has passed. He appears to be a rehabilitated individual. From my understanding, I would ask for that personal bond, Judge.
Okay, thank you. So I did have an opportunity to review the investigator's report. I've listened to the background information relating to you, Mr. Simmons. The court is concerned. I know that you dispute these allegations, but it is alleged that you shot, or at least she's alleging, Ms. Golson is alleging that she was shot by you. And so the court finds that you do pose a danger to the community, and by clear and convincing evidence, you are facing a life offense and 10-year felony, as well as a 4-year felony. Now, the court is looking at the fact that they do have you charged in the alternative. So I, understand what Mr. Brico is saying, but for now, the court is charged with protecting the public, and I am going to set a cash surety bond. In the amount of $75,000. Or if you post that bond, then you'll be connected to a GPS tether with a curfew of 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Hold on for your court dates. Affordable or unaffordable bond, Mr. Brico?
That'll be on affordable, Judge.
Okay. All right, then there'll be a bond redetermination hearing set for the 16th. It'll be Monday at 9 o'clock. Or Judge McConicle or Judge Williams. While you're on bond, sir, you may not have any contact directly or indirectly with Regina Goldston. Is that understood, Mr. Simmons? Okay. He has a probable cause conference that's scheduled for June 23rd at 8:30. That'll be by Zoom before Judge Jacquet. He also has the right to a preliminary examination. That's scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30. That will also be before Judge Jacquet, but it'll be in person. Court is also imposing a condition for no weapons, so you may not possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapons. Condition as well. Yes. Okay.
May we mark this file as medical? He does have high blood pressure and prostate cancer.
Okay. All right. DBC. We mark his file medical.
I did, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right then, Mr. Simmons. That concludes this matter.
Have a blessed day.
All right, sir. Good afternoon. Your name?
My name is Lampkin.
What's the last name?
Lampkin.
Lampkin, I see it. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, sir. The court is calling case number 250581580. The people of the state of Michigan versus Kenneth Bernard Lampkin. May I have your appearance, please?
Miguel Brico on behalf of Mr. Lampkin. Judge, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives the formal reading of the complaint, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
Okay, then the court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Lampkin. Mr. Brico, bond recommendation.
Judge, I'd recommend a personal bond. It's a CCW charge, non-assaultive, no assaultive criminal history, no criminal history from my understanding at all. Does have diabetes. I'd like for him to exit the jail today, continue taking his medication, lives at home with his family, with his sister, I'm sorry, has one child. I'd like Mr. Lampkin to go home, spend Father's Day with his kid.
Okay, Mr. Lampkin, the court will set a $5,000 personal bond for you, sir. That means you don't have to post any money to get out, but while you're on bond, you may not possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You understand that? Okay, you have 2 court dates. You have a probable cause conference that's scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30. That'll be by Zoom before Judge Robbins. And then you have another hearing before a different judge. You have a right to a preliminary examination. That's scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30. That will be before Judge Jefferson in person in the 36th District Court. Okay? All right, then that concludes this matter.
Richard Brown Taylor.
All right, how are you, Mr. Brown?
How are you, man?
Okay, hold on. What's your first name?
Richard.
Yeah, we have 2 Browns, Judge.
Oh, okay. Wait, am I not seeing this other file? Hold on. Mr. Brown.
Brown Taylor.
Brown.
Oh, I thought he said Brown. Oh, Brown Taylor. No wonder. Okay. It says Taylor on the outside. All right. Yeah, the Brown Taylor. Okay. Thanks for that clarification. All right, then. And good afternoon. All right. The court is calling case number 250-444-9201. The people of the state of Michigan versus Richard Darrell Brown Taylor. Okay. May I have your appearance, please?
Judge Miguel Brico on behalf of Mr. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. It's okay. Miguel Brico on behalf of Mr. Brown Taylor. My client's been advised of his constitutional rights. He waives a formal written complaint. Stand mute. Request a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
Okay, the court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of you, Mr. Brown Taylor. Bond recommendation.
Judge, bond recommendation is going to be a personal bond. I have a little bit of insight on this case specifically. It stems back from February of this year. Some time has passed. Mr. Brown Taylor indicated to me that he was arrested for this. He was released. He was told to be dismissed by detectives. I told him sometimes there's a communication gap between the police and the courts. I told him that if this truly is going to be dismissed, that's something to hash out later. I do have information that him and the current complaining witness are on good terms. There is no animosity there. They do spend time together. I would request that this court allow a no assaultive contact order in place, if that is possible, so that they may continue on their day-to-day business with each other. And that's where I stand, Judge. He does work at Wow Internet Company. He was actually picked up either at work or on his way to work. He's in his uniform at this moment. He has had no negative criminal contact history in the past 10 years, as it is to my knowledge. I would request personal bond, no assaultive contact with the complaining witness.
Okay, thank you. All right, the court is going to entertain your request for the personal bond, which will be set at $5,000 personal. However, I'll have a no contact provision in place until there's more clarification and the people have an opportunity perhaps to confer with Ms. Hunt as to whether or not she wishes contact. So at this time, Mr. Brown Taylor, you're not to have any contact with Ms. Hazel Hunt, okay? Right, one moment.
And Mr. Brown Taylor, we can address that at your next court date. But from now until your next court date, have no contact with her. They will pick you up on it, please. Thank you.
He understands. He understands. Okay, sir, you have a probable cause. I'm sorry, you have a pretrial that's scheduled for June the 24th. That's in person before Judge Garrett here in the 36th District Court. Okay. All right. And you're not
Judge,
yes, no contact. Right? Yes.
I'm so sorry. I don't even. I hate to do this. He does have 3 children with the complaining witness. Tomorrow is Father's Day. Can we, at least for the exchange of the children for Father's Day, allow that one-time contact tomorrow? Is that something that this court can do? I'm not even sure if it is.
Is there a third party that he could go through?
Mr. Brown Taylor, can you have a third party do that? Maybe have mom pick up the kids tomorrow?
I probably can.
Okay,
Okay, well then that's what I suggest. So that
Okay,
he
thank
use
you,
a
Judge.
third party for contact. And then, of course, once they confer with her, you know, perhaps that will change, but that's how it stands right now. Okay, that
Thank you,
concludes
Judge.
this matter. Thank you. All right, you're welcome.
Was that Garrett or Bryant for the hearing?
Judge Garrett, all domestic violence cases go to Judge Garrett. In person.
That means Antonio Moss.
Okay. All right. Moss. All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Moss. All right, the court is calling case number 25058160001. People in the state of Michigan versus Antonio Dewan Moss. Your appearance, please.
Judge Miguel Brico, on behalf of Mr. Moss, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives the formal reading of the complaint, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf as to all counts.
Okay, court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Moss. Bond recommendation.
Judge, I'm recommending a personal bond on the matter. Mr. Moss has no prior criminal history, as he indicates in my office. He's not on probation, parole, or I have any pending cases. He can stay at an alternative address if the complaining witness states she lives at the same, so it's no issue to have no contact with each other. A complaining witness on the matter is of some type of relationship to him, so he knows to have no contact, stay at a different address. In addition to this, Judge, he works at Siroki's, been there for a year now, the one on Mound across from the Mopar Center. Judge, we have 3 counts here. We have assault with a dangerous weapon where no dangerous weapon was retrieved into evidence. We have a weapons felony firearm, which the predicate being the weapon that was not taken into evidence. And then we have the misdemeanor domestic violence. He's 19 years old. I've explained to him how this process works, how there's a lot of statutory benefits that he can take advantage of if he were to show up to court, which is why he is going to show up to court, Judge. I believe a personal bond would suffice in protecting the public and ensuring his reappearance to court.
Okay, so Mr. Brico, the court is concerned about the allegations that have been set forth in the investigator's report. I understand that your client is working. The court is considering a personal bond, but a tether, I believe, would be in place if I do that. They don't live at the same location, do they? I do see, do they live at the same location?
Judge, I have her address and his address being the same on my investigator's report. And he's indicating that he can stay at mom's house on Greel Road. She lives in Highland Park, so he can go stay with mom. Tether, absolutely no issue with tether. If there's a curfew requirement on it, I would just have to ask him his work hours. If there's no curfew requirement, even better.
Okay, so what are the work hours, Mr. Moss?
I work 2 to 10:30, 2 to 11, or I either work 4 to 11:30 or 10:30.
All right, Mr. Brico, I'm not hearing him very well.
He's saying 2 to 10:30 some days, or 4 to 11:30 some days. So that's PM, right? Okay, so maybe we put him on curfew from maybe, I don't know,
4 p.m. to either 2 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. or 4 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Okay,
Yes.
all right, hold on. Okay, so court is going to impose a GPS tether. His hours or curfew will be 1:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. So that'll give you an opportunity to get back and forth to work, sir. But you are not to have any contact with Nevaeh Green Armstead, and you're not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Is that understood?
Yeah.
Okay, all right then, hold on for your court dates. You have Probable cause conference scheduled for June the 23rd before Judge Jakay. That'll be at 8:30 by Zoom. You also have the right to a preliminary examination. That is scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30. That's also before Judge Jakay, but it'll be in person. Nothing
Judge, what
further
was
that
the
concludes
amount
this
of
matter.
bond?
The bond is $20,000 personal, and he
Thank
does
you.
have the tether with curfew.
Yep. All right, Mr. Miles, show up your next court date, sir.
Brown,
Hold on a moment. Oh, he's calling.
Mr. Bonner. Your man.
Okay. Your name, sir?
Julian Thomas Brown.
Okay, the other Mr. Brown. All right, one moment. Let's see. Mrs. Moss. Let's see. Yeah, Mr. Moss. Okay. First name Julian?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Brown. Okay, court is calling case number 25058155901. The people of the state of Michigan versus Julian Brown. Your appearance, please.
Judge Miguel Rico, on behalf of Mr. Brown, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives the formal reading, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
All right, court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Brown. Recommendation for bond.
Judge, I'd be recommending a personal bond on the matter. It's a CCW charge. My client is only 26 years old. He's a lifelong resident of the state of Michigan, is a father to one, is not on probation or parole, has only ever had one prior case, which was taken care of under HIDA, as I was indicated to me, works at Powder Coat Industries through a temp service, a high school graduate, is a really good guy. It's a simple thing he needs to come to court and take care of. I explained to him that this is a severe offense, but not assaultive. I would request personal bond.
All right, then the court has reviewed the investigator's report, heard the background information. Court will set a $5,000 personal bond. Mr. Brown, while you're on bond, sir, you are not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You have two court dates and two separate judges. You have a probable cause conference that's scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30. That'll be before Judge Robbins by Zoom. You also have the right to a preliminary examination. That's scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30, but that one will be in person before Judge Taylor in the 36th District Court. You understand your court dates and your bond condition? All right, then, thank you. That concludes this matter.
I can check on you. Thank you.
Okay.
You gonna stand right there. Yeah, say your name.
All right, sir.
Jimmy Bonner.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Bonner. The court is calling case number 25058163301. The people of the state of Michigan versus Jimmy Sam Bonner Jr. Your appearance, please.
Judge Miguel Rico, on behalf of Mr. Bonner, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives a formal reading, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
All right, the court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Bonner. My recommendation.
Judge, I'm recommending a personal bond on the matter. We have one count of assault, resist, or obstructing of a police officer. Judge, my client is 42 years old, lifelong resident in the state of Michigan, understands how court proceedings work, has had some court interaction in the past, nothing significant in the past 11 years, and assuredly nothing majorly assaultive in the past 23 years, Judge. We have a report where I believe Mr. Bonner was accosted and charged with this after being tased twice, and those tasers not taking effect. I think there's some credence to pay the fact that Mr. Bonner was in fear a little bit, Judge. But not even touch on those facts specifically. We're dealing with a one count ARO of an officer, unrelated parties, no risk to the specific complaining witness. I don't believe a risk to the general public. I would request personal bond today.
Okay, we'll set bond, court will set bond at $10,000 personal. I see he does have a half 3 attached, so it's not the first rodeo before the court. But again, he'll have an opportunity to assert his defenses at the next, well, not the next we're hearing, but down the road. $10,000 personal bond, and he has 2 court dates, probable cause conference scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30. That'll be by Zoom before Judge Taylor. Sir, you also have the right to a preliminary examination. That's scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30, but that one will be in person before Judge Taylor in the 36th District Court. Okay? All right, then that concludes this matter. Okay, good afternoon, sir. Your name, please?
Jaden Bass.
Okay, all right, Mr. Bass. Court is calling case number 2505816401. The people of the state of Michigan versus Jake Antoine Bass. Your appearance, please.
Judge Miguel Brico, on behalf of Mr. Bass, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives a form of reading the complaints, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
Okay, then thank you. The court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Bass by recommendation.
Judge, I'm recommending a personal bond on the matter. My client's 21 years old. He has no prior criminal history, no probation, no cases, no parole, nothing like that. He's about to get enrolled into carpentry class through Detroit Works. He does have his GED. He's a very fine gentleman from my conversation with him. He doesn't want to be in the situation. He wants to resolve it quickly. He was at a friend's cookout when all this occurred, and just shouldn't have happened the way it went down. If we were trying to have a good time and just spurred out of control, Judge. I think personal bond will suffice. No flight risk history, no danger to the public. The parties are unrelated.
All right, thank you. So the court has reviewed the investigator's report, listened to the argument or the position of counsel. This is not assaultive. The court will set a $5,000 personal bond. Mr. Bass, sir, while you're on bond, you are not to possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. Is that understood? Okay, you have 2 court dates, the probable cause conference that's scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30. You also have the right to a preliminary examination. That is scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30 in person. Both of those matters are before Judge Giles. Okay, that concludes this matter.
What's the name? You gonna stand right there.
All right. Good afternoon. Your name, please?
Good afternoon.
Reginald Hagan? Okay, all right. Court is calling case number 2505816501. The people of the state of Michigan versus Reginald Hagan. Your appearance, please.
Judge Miguel Brico, on behalf of Mr. Hagan, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives the form of reading the complaint, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf as to all counts.
All right, then the court will enter not guilty plea on behalf of you, Mr. Hagan. My recommendation.
Judge, notwithstanding the current charges as well as the prior charges in which we received that habitual notice on, I am requesting this court to consider a personal bond on Mr. Hagan's matter. All his priors were non-assaultive, non-violent in nature. They were all property crimes, from my understanding. Even in the current offense, Judge, I have only property theft crimes, no assaultive, no violent nature to those crimes. I do understand that this court still has a duty to protect the public, and maybe that extends to their property as well. Mr. Hagan is presumed innocent of all these offenses at this current moment. I would like for him to exit the DDC today, allow him a chance to show up to court. I believe that he currently is on parole for a prior charge, and I don't know what the result of that will be, but at this very moment, if he was granted a personal bond, he would be able to exit, and I would be requesting that. He lives at home with his mother and his sister. He's a lifelong resident of the city, and he does not know the complaining witnesses. They are strangers to each other. No contact order would be completely fine to abide by.
Okay, so, Mr. Hagan? This is 3 offenses and also charged as a habitual, but the court is going to set a $10,000 personal bond in this matter. While you're on bond, sir, you are not to drive without a valid license. Is that understood? All right, you have a probable cause conference that's scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30. That'll be by Zoom before Judge Jefferson. You also have the right to a preliminary examination. That is scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30. That'll be in person before Judge Jefferson in the 36th District Court. All right, that concludes this matter.
Thank you.
You're gonna sign in, Robbie? Yeah, she's gonna sign in there. Order. Order. Your Honor, give me a moment, please, ma'am. Just a moment.
That's
Thank
fine.
Bonner, can you get these 3 people? Can you get these 3 people? Remember the people. They on now. Mr. Bonner, you gotta stay in here. Give me a moment. No, I didn't. I didn't. No, sir, I didn't call you. Hey, buddy. Okay. I'm ready. The last name?
Dean.
Mr. Dean, say your name in front of that.
Jason Dean.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Dean.
Good afternoon.
The court. Okay, the court is calling case number 2505815201. The people of the state of Michigan versus Jason Stefani Dean. Your appearance, please.
Judge Miguel Abrico, on behalf of Mr. Dean, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives a formal reading, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
Okay. The court will enter not guilty plea on behalf of you, Mr. Dean. By recommendation.
Judge, we have 1 count here of the armed robbery, a life offense. I know reading that just off the complaint makes this court stop in their tracks and say, what's going on? We need to see what's going to happen bond. So when I asked you for a personal bond, I want to back it up, Judge. I am requesting personal bond today. I spoke with my client earlier today. He was just as surprised as we were after reading the incident report together, that if you look into it, this seems, if the allegations were to be true, that a corner store had a muffin and some coffee taken off their premises, and my client is here standing before you for a life offense. Judge, I don't think that the charge is necessary. I know this is not the place to argue it. I believe that they have definitely charged this wrong. I would request a personal bond on the matter. My client is a lifelong resident of Michigan, has one child, lives with his mother in Detroit, has indicated to me that he understands he should show up to court. He's working on some other things in his personal life to help him with any other issues he has going on. And he would like to leave the DDC today and come back to court. I do have the notice that you do as well, Judge, for the habitual. And I just want to point out that a lot of that stuff was a very, very long time ago. It was over 15 years to my record, and none of it appears to be assaultive in nature. And now we're here today. So I would request a personal bond, Judge. I would even request no monetization on the matter. It appears that he knows how court works. He has a history of dealing with the courts. He knows to show up for his court dates.
Thank you. Well, yeah, he knows how court works because he's been to court several times. So, and I agree with you. It's not your quote unquote typical RA that you see or that we would normally see, but there are some allegations of, brick being thrown and some items taken. And as I previously indicated, that sometimes what happens when a retail fraud and an assault and battery combine together, the law says now we have a RA if you don't reach your point of destination safely, then it's an RA if a person is assaulted in the interim. So unfortunately, that appears to be no. Okay, just hold on, sir.
Yeah,
I thought he was talking. Go ahead, Mr. Brico.
I don't know one way or the other which way this court leans on the matter. My client has expressed to me substance abuse issues that he suffers from, and he would be going to a rehab center after leaving the DDC today, with or without this court's order on that matter. If this court is more inclined to allow him to leave the jail today with their order, he would like to go to the Salvation Army. That is just something I wanted to state for the record in case this court was considering allowing Mr. Dean to leave the DDC today.
Okay, and so the substance abuse is the alcohol or drugs?
I didn't ask, Judge, I'll be honest. We just keep it just boilerplate on the substance abuse.
Since he says that's the problem, then I'm gonna impose a condition for, I'll put no alcohol or drugs, since, I don't know, are they both the problem?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, so while you're on bond, you're not to use those substances, no drugs and no alcohol. This is the court is gonna set a $75,000 personal bond in this matter. Again, not your typical RA, looks like a retail fraud gone wrong. Mr. Dean, sir, while you're, I am gonna impose that tether though. Mr. Dean, sir, while you're on bond,
Yes, ma'am.
you may not possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon, and you may not use any alcohol or any illegal controlled substances. Court is going to have a GPS tether. Your curfew hours will be 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Can I get a job if I find one?
You know what we can do, Mr. Dean? While you have that ability to be out during your regulated time, if you find a job, just your next court hearing, you'll have your attorney bring that up to that judge to allow a change to your bond conditions, okay?
Okay.
Okay, because we're gonna get a court date right
All right.
now, so make sure you show up to that.
Okay, and he's not to have any contact with Ahmed Muhammad. And I'm gonna say not enter, wasn't this at the store? Let me see. He cannot have any contact with the Dexter location. You understand that, sir?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. All right. Mr. Taylor, sir, you have two court dates. You have a probable cause conference that's scheduled for June 23rd at 8:30. That'll be by Zoom before Judge Taylor. I'm sorry, Mr. Dean. Before Judge Taylor, you also have the right to a preliminary examination, which is scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30. Now that one will be in person. The other one will be by Zoom. But if you cannot connect to Zoom, then you come directly to the courthouse, okay? You come to the courthouse in person.
Yes, sir.
Is that understood? And if you end up in a treatment program, make sure that you have your attorney notify the court, or you have a family member notify the court that you are in treatment, all right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, and you have to get clearance with Tether as well. Okay, that concludes this matter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next month. The black one.
What's your name, son?
I'm sorry, the last name again? You say Booker?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Booker. The court is calling case number 25058-16101. The people of the state of Michigan versus Kurt Marcel Booker. Appearance, please.
Judge Miguel Brico, on behalf of Mr. Booker, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights, waives a formal reading, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
All right, then the court will enter a not guilty plea. On behalf of Mr. Booker, bond recommendation.
Judge, on behalf of Mr. Booker, I'm aware that we have 3 felony counts here. So all 3 of them having to do with an assaultive element. I know that this court starts off at the personal bond consideration, but given the assaultive nature of some of the charges, some persuasion will be needed. Judge, if we look at the facts of the actual case, we look at my client's history, we take those factors into account that we're allowed to under MCR 6.106. My client is homeless. Okay, my client is mentally ill. My client suffers from several mental illnesses. This happened at the Greektown Casino, allegedly. And if we read into the facts, Judge, this is just the definition of kicking a man when he's down. To charge him the way that they charged him, Judge. I don't believe he poses a danger to anybody. I believe that my client has mental illness. He's homeless. He's by himself all the time. He's trying to work on himself. He works with the Peterborough and Clark housing center, and he goes there for his medication, and he does try to take his medication, and he's not a bad guy, Judge. I know that you have some considerations to make. We've already explained to him on the lawyer side of things that he should not be going back to the places that he gets in trouble at. So no contact will suffice to protect the complaining witnesses in this case. And as far as for him to appear to court, he notified us that when he tried to come to court prior, they refused him at the front. So we do have a note in our file for his attorney to make accommodations with the security here at 36th District to allow Mr. Booker to come to court and take care of his matter. I would request a personal bond, Judge. I would object to monetization. It is really hard for our guys to leave the DDC when they don't have a place to tether to. He did say that he will go to a facility. It's that same facility on Peterborough and Clark. And that's what I have for you, Judge. I really think a personal bond will suffice here. Any amount of bond is unaffordable. I'm upset personally that he was charged this way.
Okay, so, Peterborough, is that, Cots, the Cots Center?
So it's next
Is that
door.
26 Peterborough? Is next door? Okay, so are you living there or you go there for classes or assistance? I'm trying to find out. You go there for assistance. Okay, they have an address for you on Woodward. Are you at that location? You don't have to say the address.
On there, in the park, I think there.
So he didn't provide an address at all, Mr. Rico?
No, Judge, we just talked about the Peterborough and he told me he's been homeless for 2 years at this point. And this incident happened, a year and 7 months ago.
Oh, you know what? Yes, I just drew my attention to that from November of 2024. So the court is going to set personal bond, one due to the age, and then the incident appeared to maybe, some other things might have been going on with Mr. Booker at the time. But Mr. Booker, sir, continue to get those services. I'm not gonna order it, but you continue to get the services that you need to address your, emotional challenges.
Say something, Deb.
I don't want you to talk about your case, okay?
So, I need to go on Peterborough because I live there too, man. I get food out the garbage and stuff, man.
But that's okay, Mr. Booker. Today you're gonna leave with no conditions. You'll sign paper. You
Yes,
do need
you
to
have to have
show
a
up to the court.
condition.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I
sir.
meant with no tether.
Okay, okay, the condition is, sir, you cannot possess or purchase a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. So no knives, no box cutters, okay? And you have to stay away from Mark McKinnon, Angela Moore, and Melvin Williams. Also, you're not to go to the Greektown Casino. Is this the parking area? Don't go to the Greektown Casino, period.
Okay, man.
You understand that? That was clear, wasn't it? Don't go there. All right. Okay, hold on a minute. And take your medication.
I will, man. I must take care of the state.
Okay. All right, hold on. Casino. All right, hold on. Let me add these conditions. All right, so I didn't set bond. I said personal bond. Did I set an amount? I set an amount.
I didn't hear an amount.
All right. Of course, gonna set a $50,000 personal bond. Okay. All right, then that concludes this matter. Oh, let me
And
get
those
this
court
court
dates,
dates. Hold
Judge?
on. Yeah, give me 1 minute. Not enter.
Supposed to do Zoom, right?
Right, but if you can't get on Zoom, then you come. Will they let him come here? You said he's been having a problem. Try to get on Zoom. They'll help you over at the Peterborough location to get on Zoom. If you give them your paperwork, tell them where you need to be on.
Ma'am, I cannot go to for some reason, man. A lot of places
Okay.
I cannot go to go in.
Okay, so let them know at the Peterborough location. They will help you to get on Zoom on your court date. So make sure you talk to one of the caseworkers over there, okay?
Oh, but wait for your court date, sir.
So, hold on 1 minute. I don't know. I have to, thought I had it on. St. Antoine. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. He has a probable cause conference scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30. That'll be by Zoom before Judge Giles. And you have the right to a preliminary exam. That's scheduled for June the 30th before Judge Giles. Okay, that's in person. I might have given those court dates, I'm not sure, but, okay, all right. Oh, oh, give us a minute. Somebody is, calling up as one of these officers. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, that concludes your matter. Okay, sir, your name. Waters? Oh, yeah, it's the last one. Okay, good afternoon. The bond already set. Court is calling case number 250-576-5501. The people of the state of Michigan versus Lorenza Julian Waters.
Miguel Brico, on behalf of Mr. Waters, Judge, my client's been advised of his constitutional rights. He waives the form reading the complaint, stands mute, requests a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf.
Okay, then the court will enter not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Waters. Looks like there was a KBS bond set. Mr. Waters, they said you failed to appear on June the 6th, so that wasn't that long ago, for your preliminary examination. The court set a $2,000, 10% bond with GPS tether and house arrest. And so I'm gonna continue that bond. You will have a bond redetermination hearing on Monday before Judge McConicle or Judge Williams at 9:00 a.m. if that bond is unaffordable. Mr. Rico?
Yes, Judge, we explained the process to him as well during the interview. I appreciate you going over it as well.
Okay, and so, Mr. Waters, while you're on bond, you're not to use any drugs, no illegal controlled substances, okay? Sir, do you understand? All right, then. So it looks like he has, it says, must have GPS tether and house arrest. Okay. He has a probable cause conference scheduled for June the 23rd at 8:30 by Zoom before Judge Jefferson. You also have the right to a preliminary examination that's scheduled for June the 30th at 8:30. That will be in person before Judge Jefferson in the 36th District Court. If you cannot connect to Zoom, then you make sure you come to the courthouse, okay? Okay, so that bond is 2,000, 10%. Okay, sir, that concludes your matter. Is that the court, Plymouth calling? What happened?
Sit on that bench over there.
I think I had a curfew. But you know what? One moment. Mr. Brick, I'll be right back. I think they have to go to the female side.
Yes,
Anyway,
Judge.
but the court is in brief recess. So.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Hey, Mitch, are you doing the female? Okay. They said court is in brief, session. Got a copy? Okay.